In the summer of 2003, as American forces poured into the sands of the Persian Gulf, Colonel Jack Hawk Harlan stood on the deck of a transport ship bound for the region. A decorated Air Force intelligence officer, Jack was no stranger to duty. Tall, steady-eyed, with a voice that commanded respect without raising it, he had spent years balancing classified briefings and family dinners back home in Virginia. His wife, Elena, elegant and sharp-witted, had always been his anchor. But anchors can drift. They met on that same ship British journalist Marcus Voice Langley and his daughter Lila. Marcus was a veteran war correspondent with a gravelly laugh and endless stories. Lila, 25, bright and fearless, worked as his researcher. She had green eyes that seemed to see through people and a quiet strength that drew Jack in during late-night deck conversations. Elena noticed. She smiled politely, but her grip on Jack's arm tightened just a fraction. Back in the States, Elena felt the distance growing even before Jack deployed. The long absences, the classified calls at odd hours, it wore on her. She met Palmer Reed, a defense contractor, with a charming smile and too much time on his hands. One dinner turned into two. Two turned into something she couldn't stop. When Jack finally learned months later, the letter she sent him was careful, almost clinical. "I need space. I've made mistakes. I'm sorry." Jack read it in a dusty tent outside Baghdad. He folded the paper, tucked it away, and went back to work. Duty first. Always. Their children were scattered like pieces on a chessboard. Ryan Harlan, the eldest son, followed his father into the Air Force. A fighter pilot now stationed in the Gulf, he flew dangerous reconnaissance missions. He married Sarah, daughter of a prominent senator, poised, ambitious, the perfect military wife. Jack was proud. Ryan embodied everything he believed in. Brooke Harlan, the daughter, rebelled in her own way. She moved to New York, landed a job producing segments for a cable news network. Her boss, Derek Voss, was slick, fast-talking, and saw potential in her. Jack disapproved. "That world chews people up," he told her once over a strained phone call. Brooke laughed it off. "Dad, not everyone wants wings." Then there was Cole Harlan, the youngest. Quiet, bookish, he never wanted the uniform. Instead, he became a research assistant to Dr. Elias Khalil, a renowned Middle Eastern scholar and author living in exile in Jordan after fleeing his homeland. Elias wrote books that challenged regimes, books that got people killed. Cole adored the old man like a second father. And then there was Sophia Khalil, Elias's niece, dark-haired, intense, with a laugh that could light up a room and eyes that carried shadows. She and Cole met in Amman while researching ancient texts. Love came fast, fierce. Sophia wanted to return to her family's village in a contested border region to see her relatives, especially her Uncle Rami, who still lived there under the shadow of the regime. Cole went with her. "I'm not letting you go alone," he said. They never made it out. The regime's forces swept through the area in a brutal offensive. Villages burned, borders closed. Cole and Sophia were trapped. American embassy staff evacuated foreigners, but the regime demanded list separations. The Americans refused to hand over anyone based on ethnicity or belief. Cole and Sophia escaped with the convoy barely. They made it to safety in Jordan. Sophia realized then she loved Cole, not the safe fiancé she had left behind years earlier. They planned to marry. But Elias's health failed. Sophia felt she had to convince him to leave the region for good. Passport issues, old citizenship questions, they trapped her. Cole returned to the States, entered Air Force training against his instincts just to be closer to action that might help her. In the Gulf, Jack's plane was hit during a low-level recon. He ejected, survived, but the crash changed him. He met Lila again. Her father, Marcus, had been embedded with British forces. Lila waited for him at the base hospital. "You don't have to be alone in this," she said softly. Jack felt the pull. Temptation burned, but he thought of Elena, of the kids. He walked away. Ryan's squadron took heavy losses. He flew one last mission to cover retreating ground troops. His jet went down in flames. Sarah was left a widow at 28. Jack held her as she sobbed. "He was the best of us," he whispered. Brooke's world cracked too. Derek Voss pushed boundaries, affairs, scandals. She walked away, started her own production company. She remarried later, someone steady, kind. Elena filed for divorce. Jack signed the papers without a fight. She married Palmer eventually. Jack didn't hate her. War had taught him forgiveness was sometimes the only victory left. Cole's path led him back to the border. Sophia, pregnant, now gave birth to a boy they named Liam. The regime's secret labor camps, places where dissidents vanished, loomed. Elias's former student, a regime official named Kareem, arrived with promises. Flattery. Stay. Right. You're safe here. Elias hesitated. Sophia begged him to leave. They tried to flee to a neutral zone. They were caught. The camp was grim, endless labor, scarce food, constant fear. No gas chambers, no graphic horrors, just the slow grind of breaking spirits. Sophia protected Liam fiercely. Elias spoke out, risking everything to shield her when guards threatened the boy's life. "Take me instead," he said. They spared Sophia that day. But soon the camp lost its propaganda value. Transports rolled out. Uncle Rami, captured earlier as a suspected dissident, escaped during a work detail. He became a quiet legend among the prisoners, smuggling food messages, hope. He arranged for Liam to be hidden and passed to resistance contacts. Sophia and Elias were moved again deeper into the regime's control. Elias, weakened, died protecting a group of children during a chaotic transfer. Sophia survived on will alone. She hid under a supply truck during another move, whispering to herself, "I'm American now. I have rights." A resistance fighter, Avram Cohen, an old contact who had tried to help Elias years before, recognized her. He got word out. Cole, now a trained officer, received the message through back channels. He pulled every string, called in favors from his father's network. Jack, retired but still connected, worked quietly with old contacts and intelligence. They located Liam first, safe with a family in Jordan. Then Sophia, weak, scarred, but alive. The reunion happened in a quiet safe house near Amman. Cole held her. She touched Liam's face. Tears fell without words. Jack arrived last. He looked at his son, his daughter-in-law, his grandson. No speeches, just a long embrace. The war wound down. Treaties were signed. Jack never remarried. Lila stayed a friend, close, but never more. Elena and Palmer divorced quietly years later. She reached out to Jack once. "I was wrong," she said. He nodded. "We both were. But we survived." In the end, the Harlan family gathered in Virginia. Not whole Ryan gone forever, but together. Jack watched Cole play with Liam in the yard. Sophia smiled from the porch. And in a quiet voiceover at the close of the story, war takes everything it can: homes, dreams, lives. But it cannot take the stubborn thread of love that binds a family. Through betrayal, loss, and darkness, forgiveness and courage can rebuild what was broken. This is not just a story of survival. It's a reminder. In the harshest storms, the strongest shelter is each other.